Hi, Leather Rokk here. Today we're going to do another makeup tutorial, another green look. I'm going to keep on playing with the format until I find out what works. Now, this is my new webcam, so I'm still playing around with it, and I also lifted my computer onto a box to make it a little bit higher. Can you see me well enough? Okay, we are going to do a green eye. This only has 3 colors on it, and I'm not using a palette this time. This time I'm using some of the many single pan shadows I have. Well, actually, one of them is a mini palette, but because I really want to give more attention to my single pan shadows that I have so many of, and that actually I think are more practical, because what is the likelihood that you're going to use everything in an individual makeup palette unless you got to pick the colors yourself? So with that, let's get started. Now, I would like to tie my hair back. Maybe I should do that, huh? Okay. Tie my hair back. And I'm going to be using coconut oil this time to take off the one side so that we can begin. This is really amazing stuff. Let me turn the light out for a minute so that you can get a better look. This smells so good. And I'm going to take enough to put on my hand. Here, if you aren't familiar with coconut oil is a solid at room temperature unless it's the summertime, in which case it will melt. When it touches the skin, it is going to melt, as you will see. And now, before I do this, let's see if hopefully I will get both sides to match. Okay, I'm going to keep this one. We're going to take this one off so that we can there. Alright, I'm going to try not to mess with the eyebrow thing because that's going to take too much time for this. Now, if you recall the last couple of times we did this, I used the DHC cleansing oil. But because I only have a couple of packets of that, and because what I usually use is the coconut oil, so I thought that would be good for me to use the coconut oil today. Tabby boy, no! Oh, I can't believe this. My cat just wants to leave. Doesn't want to be grateful and stay with me. No, he wants to leave. Tabby boy, no. You see, know that I'm doing something right now, and you could stay in this room and be a good boy. Okay. This is the messy part. I can see I got some of my eyebrow too. Now, when you're using a pure oil like what I'm using, you're probably going to get some residue. Now, I could see that this time I forgot to get my washcloth to remove the excess. So, hopefully that won't be a big, huge mistake. Let's see. And you shouldn't rub around the eye area anyway. Alright, now, to begin, let's start with a layer to grab the eyeshadow onto. And of course I didn't have it set out because I wasn't as organized as I thought I was going to be. But you know what? You can use more than one thing as a layer for your eyeshadow to grab onto. And I will even prove it to you now. Instead of the usual layers that I have, I'm going to see what happens with a thin layer of coconut oil on, because I think, as I've already said, if you use your foundation is not going to be sticky enough for the eyeshadow to stick onto. And you really want your eyeshadow to stick onto. But you know what? I'm going to use a little bit of the foundation anyway. But really, this foundation by itself is not going to be enough for the eyeshadow to really stick. But since I had some coconut oil underneath it, maybe it won't dry down and maybe it will match. Because the whole idea is we want everything to match. Let's see if it does. I mean, I hope it does. Alright. First thing I'm going to do is, this is a single pan eyeshadow from Avon under the subsidiary Mark, and it's the custom pick eyeshadow, and the color is called Retro Peacock. And this is what the color looks like with the light. This is what the color looks like without the light. Okay, and I'm using a brush that I got from the dollar store. The brand name is Vivace. I don't know if it's pronounced Vivace or Vivace or what. And I'm going to look in the mirror and I'm going to put this color in the crease. I'm going to do a lot more blending later. I hope both sides match. Okay, I am going to use a lid color. The lid color is from a little mini palette by a company called Santee, S-A-N-T-E-E. And it has a hot pink, it has a purple, and it has a chartreuse or yellow. This is what it looks like without the light. This is what it looks like with the light. And I actually wet the brush. So I have water in my Irish mug, and I'm going to add this to the yellow or chartreuse shade. Add a little bit more water to it. Now, this is not a bona fide wet dry shadow compact, so these kind of have to be scrubbed on a little bit, but this is all dayglow colors in this compact, in this palette here. And so this palette is really ideal if you ever go to the Life in Color parties, which are the dayglow paint parties. That, Tabby boy, will you stop that? Tabby boy! My cat. Okay, see what I'm doing? I put the brush in the yellow or chartreuse color, and I'm putting it on the lid, not quite up to the crease. Okay? Now, it's important not to get your brush too wet if you do this method, because the water will go into the corner of the eye and sometimes onto the eyeball. Okay, so now while I'm letting that dry somewhat, I have a pencil that I got from E.L.F, E-L-F, and it is the Shimmer eyeliner pencil. I think the color was called Emerald Green. The color name is worn off of it. I sharpened it before I did the application. I probably should sharpen it again if I can even find the sharpener. But you know what? I can't find the sharpener again, so I'm just going to trust that you know what? Before I do anything, I better tie my top on, because I didn't realize it fell down. I also think I need to adjust the webcam here because I'm only showing a little bit of me and I wanted to show more. So this is going to take some getting used to the new webcam and the view it gets. Now I'm hoping you could see the technique that I'm going to be doing. I want to do the waterline first. Again, if I didn't have to hold this mirror, let me see, try putting it here. Can you see what I'm doing? Maybe I should put this. I'm afraid I'm going to hit a key on this keyboard and it's going to shut this thing off, and I don't want to do that. Now I don't know if I can get the water line with this oil that's on the lid, but I will line. See, this kind of illustrates why it's really important to have a freshly sharpened pencil when you do this. Okay. Now, what I used underneath the eye was this. This is a single pan, no, a double pan shadow from E.L.F, E-L-F, and the color is called Olive. There's actually a darker color that was a khaki that was on one side, and that I used up, but the color that I haven't used up is, I guess, the olive color. And what I did was I just went underneath the eye. I better put the light back on. I've got a glare I noticed on this webcam, and I don't know what to do about it, so I'm sorry about that. Okay. Now, this is a mascara I used with this, is by LA Colors, and it's this little mascara here, and it holds the curl of the lash. It's not waterproof, but it seems to hold up pretty good when I go dancing in the clubs. It stays put. Sometimes it's nice having a non-waterproof mascara just because it won't take forever to take it off. And that kind of can come in handy when you're really tired and you don't want to take forever washing your face. I mean, because you don't want to skip the washing your makeup step unless, of course, you got company. Then I think it's okay to not wash your makeup off. But if you don't have company, Tabby boy, would you stop that? Oh, I love my cats, but they just don't want to listen. Tabby boy, will you stop that? All right. I have to show people what a bad kitty is. Come on, Tabby boy. Excuse me, Tabby boy. Oh, boy. You want to see my cat? You want to see my cat? Oh, I don't know what he wants. You want kisses? No. You want makeup? No. You're a show stealer. That's my cat. Here, go hang out with Ace and be good. See? There's Ace. Tabby boy wants to leave my room. He's got to learn you can't always get what you want. All right. Did I mess up my eyebrows too bad? No, not too bad. Okay. And I guess I have to make up for how I messed up just a little bit. This is the foundation I use, by the way. It's the True Match, and the color, it's by L'Oreal, and the color that I use is the lightest color they have. It's W1 Porcelain. I usually go for the lightest color I can find, and not all companies make foundations pale enough for me, but this is good stuff, and I've been working with this foundation for, I guess, about a month, and I don't have any complaints. Okay, I'll put the lid on this so that a kitty doesn't spill it or something. Now, for my highlighter, I used the B&H Cosmetics Blacklight Highlight Palette. This is what it looks like without the light. And this was the brush I used this time. I used the gold color that has like green flecks in it, and I just touched the edge of it. Now, I'm going to show you my contour color. My contour has been my stock CoverGirl Professional Eye Enhancers. So in other words, it's actually an eyeshadow that I'm using. The color is called Jammin. And as you can see, it's a dark, matte, muted, plummy shade of purple. It's like, yeah, it's a plum. And I just touch just a little faint line of it. I got it on this side, and of course you got to blend. Now, I'm going to take this brush here, speaking of blending, and I'm going to go over it to blend it. Try to get them to match. The one thing with this technique of doing them both and then taking one side off and replicating it to show you how to do it, the challenge is to make sure that both sides match, because when you have a side that's been on longer, the eyeshadow will interact with your foundation and the layers underneath, your skincare underneath it, and it may look a little bit different. So I wouldn't recommend this technique of doing it and then taking it off and doing it again and then being quick to go out the door, because then there's a chance that your eyes might not match. And Tabby boy, come on, be good. So anyway, this is the look. Take my hair back down, and this is another way to do a green eye. You can do this for St. Patrick's Day. You can do this for anytime when you want to wear green. A lot of makeup people say that you shouldn't do your eyeshadow to match your outfits. Guess what? I do. To me, it makes sense. I like the matchy-matchy. I think that color should be used to go with things, because to me, that just makes sense. So I disagree with the people that say that you shouldn't match your eyeshadow to your outfits, because to me, it makes all the sense in the world. Oh, you want to know what my lip color is? It's by E.L.F, E-L-F, and the color is called Orange Dream. I didn't put it on very heavy, because this is a very, very bright, dark color. But I could put it on a little bit heavier. Something about orange and green together, they really make sense, I think. So that's how I did this makeup look. And if you want to see these videos coming, please feel free to subscribe. Hit that bell notification thingy and you'll know when I make my next upload. I make new videos 3 times a week for your viewing pleasure. So till then, talk to you soon. Bye.